up, YouTube? Welcome to TMC Fishing. Like always, I appreciate you guys for watching. So today we're doing something fun. I've got a couple hours today to sneak out. We're at one of the small ponds that you guys always see me hit it with the kayak. I just pulled up and there is water running into it. There's some snowmelt running into it. So the water's coming up, which it desperately needed. It was super low. I mean, it's still pretty low, but it's coming up. It's getting some life. So that's good to see. Today I want to do two things, okay? I want to show how I break down a body of water in the spring is kind of the goal for this video. And I want to show it both ways. I want to show it how I break it down from the bank, because I go about it a little bit differently and I'm targeting different fish. You know, I'm targeting more spawning fish and bedding fish from the bank. Whereas whenever I get out on the water and I have access to the whole thing, I'm more targeting the pre-spawners, because that's a lot more of a consistent bite and you tend to get bigger fish off the pre-spawners. So I kind of want to show both ways. I'm going to go about it. I'm going to start on the ground first. And as long as the wind doesn't get bad, it's supposed to get bad this evening. We'll see how long it holds out for me. Then we'll jump out on the kayak and hopefully I can show you guys kind of my perspective and my tactics about how I go about breaking down a body of water in the spring. So like always, guys, let's go rip some lips. All right, guys, we're going to start with my favorite springtime bait right now, at least from the bank. I love a good soft plastic jerkbait. It's super weedless. You can fish it slow or fast, depending on what the fish's mood is. And it's a fairly versatile bait, and it's really good in the shallow, grassy water. This is the Zoom Super Fluke. I mean, everybody knows this one. And a watermelon red, and then I add a little chartreuse with some garlic scent on the tail, just because there's a lot of bluegill in here. They gotta have that fluorescent tail. And we're gonna start with this, and then you know we gotta throw the rat. Gotta try it. Topwater bite's starting, and it's way too much fun not to try. So we're gonna start right here and break down these shallows. I can see some water's pretty clear, even though the water's rolling in. I can see structure, so I'm thinking that perhaps there's some bedded fish up here, but the water's pure snow melt, so I don't know if the water's warm enough either. Let's see. She's pretty cold. Oh, there we go. Jesus. All right, slight change of plans. There's a lot more people here than I thought there was going to be on a Monday morning. And there's very limited bank space on this pond. So we're going to start with the kayak and hopefully end with the bank fishing. See how it goes. Normally I don't like to start with finesse. I like to power fish first, but with the wind coming, and I know it's going to come later, I'm going to finesse now while I can. See, it's already starting to blow. I'm going to finesse now while I can. and hopefully pull a couple. And then we'll start throwing the fun stuff when the ripples start. Oh, well, there's first fish of the day. Ah! Spined me too on the way, little baby. Well, slow hopping the Nico worked, I guess. See if we can't catch something a little bigger than that. Well, I can find the dinks. Got me some studs. Real quick, I got some important news, guys. We got our first channel partner, Keep It Real Fishing Apparel Company. They're a fishing apparel company that's made by fishermen for fishermen. They're based out of Texas, and whether you fish for saltwater or freshwater, they've got something for you. They make awesome shirts, hoodies, hats, and my personal favorite, polarized sunglasses. If you don't have a good pair of polarized glasses, you're missing out. The polarization helps cut out the sun glare on top of the water and really helps you see what's down below. These things are really slick because they're ultra light, crystal clear glass. And the best part, they float. If you ever drop them in the water, you don't lose them in the lake or pond or wherever you're fishing. I'm really excited to have this new partnership. And if you want any of these products that you see down below, I've got a link in the description. And if you use code TMC, you get 10% off on anything on the website. So it's a really good way to help support the channel, and I'd really appreciate it, guys. But like always, I appreciate you guys for watching, and let's get back to catching some fish. Oh, there's one. That's a little better one. Oh, I threw my Nico. Oh, you jerk. That's the only one I had. Alright. Look at him all. His tail's all beat up, chewed up. He's been either just got done spawning or he's actively spawning. But super fun fish on the ultralight. The BFS is just such a fun little combo. If you don't have one, you should get one. Alright, that was fair, I guess. Did he get you guys? A little bit. Well, oh, my Nico. All right, we're gonna go back to the truck real fast and grab a different pole and a little different setup. This isn't quite working. All right, got a new Nico rig. We're gonna throw this around a little bit longer, and then I got a new square bill in my 6 cents bag this week. My monthly subscription that I really want to test out. I don't know how well it's going to work with all this grass. This pond sets up a lot better for lipless than it does square bills. But I think over on this inside edge we can make it work. So we're gonna see if we can't pull something off this side, or if they're all just right there in the current. It's kind of where I guessed a lot of them would be, but you never know. All right, so this is what I got in the new 6 cents bag this go around. This is their 50 crush, their square bill. Now we have one of these in a flat-sided variant that's got our PB out of this pond. It's got caught a 5.5 this year, so I know they're good cranks. I haven't tried the normal version yet, like this, and it's a cool little bluegill fire tiger color, so it's something different. Might be a little bright for how clear this water is, but you didn't get any moss, so that's a good thing. But it is a bluegill color, and that's the main forage in here, so hopefully that'll be enough to talk them into it. Oh yeah, she's running super crooked. That's crazy. Alright. Oh, that ain't gonna work. So we're gonna go back to a staple of mine. This is the 6 cents lipless. As you can see, she's got lots of teeth marks on her. She's caught a lot of fish. So we're gonna see if we can't talk some of these fish into a more moving bite. And then if this doesn't work, we might switch up to like a paddle tail, something a little more subtle in moving, or we might step it up and go super aggressive and throw like a chatterbait or something. I'm gonna let the fish kind of tell me what they want today, but as of right now, they want everything super slow and finessey, and I feel like that's not right. They should be fairly fired up this time of year. Shouldn't be working for a bite this hard, so I just think I'm not throwing something that they want. There's one. Oh, it's a better one. don't get me in the bushes, please. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, yeah. Much better fish. There we go. There's like a 2. And the Nico. Heck yeah. Spawned out. Bloody tail all beat up. Yeah, they're definitely post-spawn right now, for sure. I would like to get a weight on this one. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be the big fish of the day. Come here. Oop. There we go. Zero it out. 2 pounds, 8 ounces, 2.5. Heck yeah. It's a good fish. For out here anyways. Tons of fun on that BFS combo, that ultralight, man. You just can't beat them. There you go. And the thing is, you know, everybody and their dog's thrown at this tree all day. I'm sure, and all weekend and all, you know. It's the best structure in the whole pond. So the fish, I'm sure, are super pressured here. Just saying, I mean, it's a Monday and I've already had, you know, 5 or 6 people roll through. Tells me these fish are pressured. So I would say normally, you know, the bite would be hot and the fishing would be good and I wouldn't have to do this, slowing down as much as I am. But with how much pressure there is, I'm sure these fish are pretty sore-lipped, relatively. So I think that's what's making the bite so tough and making these fish so skittish. Plus every fish I'm seeing, you know, is those 2 bigger fish are post-spawn. They've already been spawned, their belly's empty. So they're just kind of recovering right now. They're tired, they're wore out from the spawn, so they're just trying to get a meal and bulk back up a little bit. So I'm gonna fish for another, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, and then I gotta head out of here. So see if we can't pull one more out of here. I'm sure there's quite a few fish tucked up in this bush, but they're going to be tough to talk them into coming out. Alright, I made it back to the house. So today's video didn't turn out at all like I set out for it to be. I wanted to do a bank and kayak kind of comparison video about how I go about fishing in the spring. From different perspectives, and it just didn't turn out that way. It was Monday morning and I was really hoping I'd be the only one there because that pond's really small. It's only like 1.5 acres, and there was already people there, and it makes it really tough to fish from the bank when you can only fish 1/3 of it. So I decided to just throw the kayak in and go for it. And really what it turned into was showing how having preconceived notions can really work against you, because this time of year, you know, I figured it's spring, spawn. I was thinking it was a lot like the lake where they're pre-spawn into spawn, and they're not at that pond. We saw on those fish how beat up they were. They're post-spawn. They've already come off the beds, which makes sense. It's a smaller body of water. It warms up faster, but I wasn't thinking that way. So I tried to fish it like I was at the lake, and it wasn't working. The moving bite was just not there. And I think some of that because the topwater moving bite still should have worked, but I think a lot of that just comes down to pressure. You know, for there to have been that many people there on a Monday morning, I can only imagine how bad that place got schwacked all weekend long. And I did notice 2 of the guys that were out there fishing were keeping everything they caught. Nothing against them, public body of water. I get it. I keep fish too sometimes. But that also tells me the more aggressive bass were probably getting kept. So now we're looking at the more passive fish are probably the ones that are left in there right now. So we only had bites on the Nico, and going super finesse. I had to fish it super slow in order to get bites. But it really goes to show throwing something different this time of year, and I kind of preach it all summer too, but on high pressured or really educated fish, throwing something different that not everybody else is throwing is a big deal. You know, we saw with that last fish I caught. I watched guys throw live worms, wacky rigs, live minnows, and I think a paddle tail at that exact same tree before I got there. So I know that fish saw multiple baits and presentations, and they probably saw those same presentations throughout the whole day. Not to say that wacky rigs aren't phenomenal spring baits, because they are, but that fish has probably already seen 24 wacky rigs this year. So throwing something different like the Nico is really what I attribute to catching that fish. And I throw straight black, which is really only referred to generally for like muddy water, because they've probably seen a bajillion green pumpkin and watermelon reds and natural colors all year. I'll throw black in crystal clear water, and I've had great success with it. So this time of year, I'd really push for you guys to try throwing something you wouldn't normally throw, whether that be a color like a bubblegum pink or a fluorescent orange or something crazy, right? Something off the wall that they don't normally see, or try a different lure presentation that you're not comfortable with, or something you don't normally throw that you don't think those fish have ever seen, because changing it up could make the difference between catching a fish and not. I'll get off my soapbox now. But like always, guys, I appreciate you for watching, and I will see you next time.